All right, everyone. Thank you for joining First Team Real Estate Wednesdays trainings. Thank you for being part of First Team Real Estate. We have Bob Gottuso for a part 2 of the listing presentation and handling sellers' objections. This should be definitely a valuable, meeting today and training. And Bob, you're on. Also, before, turn on your videos. We're going to want to interact and see. The more that we can see everybody, the funner it's going to be too as well. So, Bob.
Look at my name.
Bob, turn your video on.
Okay, guys, good morning. I can't remember anybody that showed up last week, but I'm glad you're here. This is a much better class because this will make you money. So for those of you that don't remember me or weren't here last week, my name is Bob Gottuso. I work out of Mark Kojak's office in Laguna Niguel. And see if this sounds familiar to you guys. When I first started real estate, I interviewed with Mark Kojak, and Mark said to me, Bob, why do you want to be a real estate agent? And I said, Mark, I love people. I love looking at houses. And well, that thrill went away really quick. And my first, our first couple hard escrows, and I thought this job is really hard. So I went to Mark and quit. About every week I'd quit. I said, this is just really hard. He said, Bob, you got to have a new motivation. So I had a new motivation. And my new motivation was, I'm doing this for the money from now on. Right? So I want to show you, I asked Greg if this was okay. I downloaded my last month's worth of deposits from First Team into my bank account. And I want to show you what you guys can do if you know your presentation and you know how to handle objections. Is that fair? Is that okay?
Fair. Oh, yeah. Great.
Okay.
Bring it on.
Can you all see that?
No way. Oh my gosh, Bob.
That was 1 month's worth of deposits from First Team.
That looks like 1 week.
I'm sorry?
That looks like 1 week's worth of deposits.
It does look like a week. Oh my gosh.
They all closed at the end of the month. This is stuff you can do. I'm not as smart as you guys. Okay, that was 1 week. Every one of those was 3.5%. Okay, not one of those things was. I didn't show you the one from last month that was 2.5, but that's a different story. But you can do the same thing. You have to know your listing presentation. You have to know how to handle objections. Right. Right. Okay, right. Come on, wake up, guys.
Yes, absolutely.
I put on a tie for you guys. I have no pants on, but I have a tie on. But okay, so I'm going to go around the room, and if you don't have your camera on, Mauricio, we might have to have a conversation. Is so if I don't see cameras on, we're going to role play, and you're going to get the harder role play questions, right? So you need to be able. Every one of you guys need to be able to answer this one question. Thank you, Mauricio. Buongiorno. You need to answer.
Buongiorno, Bob. I didn't want you to see me in my jogging gear. That's all.
That's okay. I'd rather see you than see a picture of you.
Okay, man.
So my good friend Jason's in the house. Thank you, Jason, for showing up. So okay, every one of you better answer this one question. So think about it. Ready? Hardest question there is, right? Why should I hire you? Right? That's what you're going to get. People are going to ask you why I should hire you. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to throw some objections, and one of the objections I'm giving you a heads up. Why should I hire you, right? So what I thought I'd do is I'd start off with some objections. First of all, do you guys have any questions from last week? No? Okay, well, I guess I did a really good job. Okay, any volunteers for the first objection? Oh, come on. The first one's easy. Carla, you ready?
Yep. Hi. Why should you hire me?
No, well, no, we're going to get to that one next. We're going to get to that one next. We're going to
give me an easier one.
Carla, we're sitting down. You just went through the comps. Okay, and here's my objection.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my objection.
Okay.
Okay, Mauricio. Okay. Carla.
Yes.
You just told me my house is worth 1.5. I think it's worth 2. I don't think you believe in my price. I don't think I can hire you.
So you're asking, you're saying you think your house is worth more. Is that right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
And
And you told me 1.5.
uh-huh.
And if you don't believe in my price, how are you going to sell my house?
Oh, I'm going to sell your house.
Yeah, but are you going to sell? I need it. I think it's 2 million. You think it's 1.5. How do I know that you're not going to tell people it's not worth 2 million?
You know what? I'm going to sell your house, Bob. You can count on me to sell your home. I'm professional. I'm experienced, seasoned. You've got the best agent and the best company behind you. We are going to sell your house. I'm not quite sure what you're asking, actually.
I'm saying you told me you did the comps.
Yes, and it's worth, I'm saying 1.5.
And I don't think it's worth 1.5. And I don't want to hire somebody that doesn't believe in my price. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Now, I've had that question.
Yeah.
And you guys may not have had that question, but that's what they're thinking. Somebody help her out. Who wants to help her out?
I like to help.
Thank
ahead.
Try to
you.
help. What I would emphasize is, we are offering a lower price to get a larger pool of applicants to apply, since we know in the current market or recently that prices increase, 200, 300,000, depending what the size of the house and the value, of course, but in the bidding. So we want to lower the price so we get more people apply, so we have more variety to choose on the best offer for the house.
Okay.
And you can't sell a
Bob.
house. Yeah.
Bob, where did
Right. Go for it.
Bob, where did you get that price? What are you basing that on?
Good question. I have the best house in the neighborhood. I can't tell who's asking that question because your video's not on.
Mhm.
But I know the house down the street sold for 1.5, and mine's way better. I have a better view. I have better upgrades, and I think it's worth that.
So, hey,
Sylvia.
Bob, you want to sell it for what, 2 million? And I see 1.5. The comps seem to be indicating more about mid ones, like 1.5, maybe 1.6. I do believe in your house. You can see the average days on market is 10. So why don't we do this? We'll go ahead and go with your $2 million price for 10 days. And if we don't have a contract by then, let's put it right here in the contract that we're going to reduce it to 1.8. And then we're going to go another 10 days. And if we don't see if we don't have a contract at that, we'll drop it to 1.599. How's that sound?
Okay. What do you guys think? Do you believe that?
Sylvia raised her hand before. Sylvia, you got a response? You're on mute, Sylvia.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I raised my hand before when I was wondering where he get the price from.
Okay.
But go ahead and tell me again, Bob.
Well,
Like-
so I mean, where do these people get their price? They pull them out of the air. They look at Zillow. They look at the last comp. My house is better. How many times have you heard that? I have a better view. I have better upgrades. I'm on the better side of the street, and I think it's worth
Yeah,
that.
we want to have a bidding war. If you put it a price at $2 million, we will miss a lot of people and they will think it's overpriced when the last close 1.5. Like, I rather you have a lot of people coming, offers above the asking price, a bidding war, and probably get to the, I don't know, to the 2 million if it's worth it. It's like what the market says. It's like, I'm not saying the price. It's like everybody believes that a house is the best, of course, and it's a beautiful home, but let's do what the number says.
Okay. I like.
Hi,
all of your
Bob.
answers. Go ahead.
Hi there. This is Parnaz with Newport office. So, I would like to put some input if you don't mind.
I would love to see your face, but that's okay too.
I'm very, very, I'm not in a, very pleasant condition. So I prefer you see my photo.
But the house is.
Yeah. So usually with prices, I'm very careful with sellers because, they always want to hear the highest price. They sometimes think the agent that give them the highest price is the best and sometimes the lowest commission. So I'm really careful with the price and with the comps. And in this market, I always say, okay, this is the sold comps, the last comps, and the value here that you see, it's based on that. Your home obviously is much nicer, more upgrades, better view, and we are in an appreciating market. So whatever was sold, I'm going to get you more. And I promise you, I'm going to make sure that I maximize the sold price of your home. But I don't like to overpromise. So this is what was sold. And we can do with two different strategies. We can go with your 2 million and see how the market reacts, or we can use the other strategy, price it at the sold comps. We are going to definitely get more buyers, more excitement, more offers, and I'm going to make sure that I counter everybody, I create the competition, and I maximize the sold price for you. But it's your choice which strategy you want to go for. And even in this market, even 2 million, if it was 2 years ago, I would say, don't do that. You're going to stay on the market. But this is a different market. We can try. I can do whatever you want, but here are the facts. This is your decision.
Okay. There's no wrong answer.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I would say. Let me pick on somebody. Lisa Hoover.
Hey.
Let's role play a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Lisa, I do believe in your price, but let me ask you a question. Do you want me to bring you one buyer or 5 or 6 buyers?
Oh, I want you to bring me one good buyer, Bob.
Sure. Our most sophisticated sellers know that the best way to sell a house at the highest price is to get an auction going. At your price, we may get one buyer, but if we go with my pricing strategy, you're going to get multiple buyers and we're going to get this thing bid up. Something like that. So that's what I would say. But so most of what everything everybody said is fine. I really like Dave's thing too. But get them to agree that multiple buyers, right?
Yes, I was going to try to play devil with you to really get you going on that, but I absolutely think that that's a great way to answer that question.
Well, Mark Kojak came up with our most sophisticated sellers are pricing their houses like this. And so it's like they want to be part of that sophisticated seller pool, right? Who doesn't?
Oh yeah.
Right. And who wouldn't want multiple buyers? Yeah, I could potentially sell. Yeah, I do believe in your price, but I want to get you not just one buyer. I want to get multiple buyers to buy your house, make offers on your house. So let's, the pricing strategy that you're looking at isn't the pricing strategy that works anymore. The pricing strategy, the old strategy is price it high and try to go down. The new pricing strategy that works really well in this market is to get 10 people by. Jason in the audience area, he had 20 offers on one of his houses just recently. And he priced it at low and he got it, it's like 100, 200,000 higher.
Yeah.
So have some examples. And I have another example that I'll save it for a different thing. Does that make sense? Okay, who wants to do the next one? Okay, Paul. Paul, what office do you work out of?
If I can unmute, Newport.
Okay, you ready, Paul?
Newport and Mission Viejo. Yes, sir.
Okay, my house is in Laguna Niguel. You're in Newport Beach. Paul, I'm looking at your business card and it says Newport Beach. I'm in Laguna Niguel. How in the world could you possibly know my neighborhood if you don't even live around here?
Good question. I used to be a paper boy, so I had a route. Real estate, especially with First Team being an independent brokerage, is much different, thank the Lord. I have 34 offices throughout Southern California, number one. Number two, I'm licensed within the entire state, Bob. So how could I actually work in San Francisco? How could I work in Lake Tahoe like I do sometimes through Christie's International with our licensing? Not only with a great relocation program with Leading RE, you're right down the street, not only from my Newport office, my Laguna Beach office, but also my Dana Point office, which is managed by one of the top managers, Mark Kojak, if not the top. So not only do we have people very transient throughout Los Angeles, and you can see I have all of your information here right in front of us, but one of my wonderful colleagues gave me this great site called How Money Walks. And you should see all the people coming in from Arizona, Idaho, and the following regions, let alone Texas. They can't take the weather, believe it or not. So we have had a tremendous marketing strategy with your property, and that's why we came up with the price that we came up with. And also we are in total alignment at this point in time. So are you ready to go?
Okay, who was convinced?
I was.
I'm convinced all should run for office.
That was good.
Run
Very,
for
very good.
office. I need an office.
Jeremiah, what'd you think?
I thought he did a really good job. I obviously knows his information and has confidence in the message that he's delivering. So I thought he did well. I know it doesn't probably come across the same in role playing, but I think sitting with a client, it'd probably be a little bit more relaxed, shoulders back a little bit. But I think he did a good job overall.
Yeah, I thought it was good, Paul. It was very political, but it was good. I think stress, when you get a question like that, you need to stress that the reason why you're at First Team is because we are independent. We work together. We share, everybody shares information, that kind of stuff. And that's the
yes,
great thing about-
I you know what? Totally let out sneak peek. I didn't mention that. You're absolutely right, sir.
Okay. You're going to get that question. I had that question. I went on an interview in Newport Beach and the guy looked at my card and he was off of Ford Road and he said, well, you're not even from here. How can you sell my house?
I love the Shady Canyon story.
Yes, yes. All right, who's ready for another one?
Can I want to add one element for that, Bob, really quick?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, since you called on me.
Jeremiah, I had a rule with our last class, managers weren't allowed to talk, but go ahead.
I know, I'm so sorry.
No, I did call on you, go ahead.
It is a really interesting market though. And so one thing that I think that everybody should think about this in getting that question, is not necessarily about being the neighborhood expert. In this market's about understanding people, right? You need to play to the emotion of people because there's bidding wars and everybody's super emotional right now and buying on emotion. Buyers always buy on emotion, but it's heightened right now. And I think everybody knows that. So it's not just about understanding your market, but it's understanding what people are going through and it's understanding people right now. So I don't care if I live down the street or, in San Diego, it's understanding the emotion of how buyers are going to come in and bid on your property and then create that bidding frenzy of the auction, like you said, Bob. Sorry.
No worries. Okay.
Can I add to that also? This is Leah, sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I was asked that question in a listing appointment late last year, and because the property was in Irvine, and they asked me, both the husband and wife, have you sold in Irvine before? And I said, no, I haven't. And it was an objection that I wasn't necessarily planning on hearing, on hearing. Anyways, I kind of went in with the idea with the truth that no matter where I'm selling, because I've sold everywhere, that I go in with the same, what's the word? I do the same things for everywhere I sell, the same research, the same amount of research, the same amount of, calling the city, calling wherever I need to, putting the same equal energy into it, whether I've sold in the neighborhood 10 times or whether it's brand new. So the principle of selling for me is the same. If not more so, if I haven't been somewhere, I'm going to do even an even greater amount of research. And they did hire me because I went in having had already called both of their HOAs and giving them information that they didn't even know after living there for 28 years. And so they hired me, but it was more of like, no matter where I go, the principle is the same. And I'm going to do as much work as I need to get it done.
Mm-hmm. And this is where I like that. And this is where research and doing your homework comes into play. If you've done the comps and you look at the comps more so than ever, that there's been 10 homes sold in your neighborhood. Of those 10 homes sold, 10 have been by 10 different agents. And would you believe that only 7 of them were only 3 of them were from Laguna Niguel? The others were out of the area. So there isn't anybody that's sold in your neighborhood that actually lives in Laguna Niguel. Right? And that's so true. Okay.
Can I
Leah,
ask a quick question, Bob?
yeah, please, Ryan.
Parallel with what Leah was saying, could you also say, you know, you're familiar with the area, broad strokes, but you're going to be looking at it fresh eyes for that specific client, and you might see things that really add value to the area that other people who mill around every day, they're not going to see them anymore. You know what I mean? You get sort of, you know, you live by Disneyland for 10 years. It's not exciting anymore, you know, but anyway,
Yeah, no.
just seeing if there's a fresh eye angle there.
Yeah, I mean, right, all these, I want you guys to be able to have a big bag that you can pull out of stuff. Anytime you have an objection, maybe pull out something that and try it, right? You know, things like, you know, the population, you know, Ryan, the population flow in Orange County, guess what it is? It's north to south, east to west. Everybody wants to be by the beach eventually, right? And that's just, you know, the great thing about First Team Real Estate is we have offices everywhere. And the great thing about being a not a franchise, but an independent broker is that we pull from all that and we advertise to all those areas. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in your neighborhood. I just have to bring the buyers to your neighborhood. And that's what we do. The other thing you pay me for is to network with other agents. I'm networking with the agents in Laguna Beach and San Clemente and Mission Viejo. That's the great thing about my company is I can probably, and then you can talk about first look and all that stuff. I don't have to live there to be able to sell your house. Matter of fact, I've sold 900 homes in Orange County from here to here. I've sold houses around. I don't need to live there, kind of thing. I just want to give you guys different things that you can pull out and different, you know, ideas. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who wants to volunteer for my next one? Okay. No, come on. Okay, Sylvia, you're in the top of my screen, your hand's up, so you're stuck. You ready?
Yeah.
You know, I've seen first team signs in my neighborhood, but the last first team sign that I saw in the neighborhood didn't sell. So what makes you think you can sell my house when you guys couldn't sell the one down the street?
That's still, I don't know if that's still available.
No, it was off the market. My neighbor, the first team had a sign there for like a couple of months. It didn't sell. My neighbor took it off the market. I'm calling you because I got your notepad and, you know, I want to talk to you, but
yeah,
it's comfortable that you couldn't sell the one down the street.
I don't know what happens there, but I will check. I think that was canceled. It could be all kind of things. Do you know why it didn't sell? You know the neighbor?
I don't know, but you know, if you guys couldn't sell,
there's tons of houses that they don't sell because the agent don't have the right strategy, or they just don't are upfront telling the truth about how much is worth it, the house. A lot of people, it's the only house that they sell in years and they are desperate, but I don't know exactly what happens there. I'm just telling you, I'm here. I give you all the comps, telling you what's going on in the market. And I have been selling houses for almost 17 years. So I'll tell you the truth. If I think I cannot sell the house, I will tell you and just walk away. But I think this is the right price. We can work together. Are you ready?
No, not quite. By the way, this is a safe zone. Anything you say, we're having a conversation. I'm an agent just like y'all. This is, we can say and we can criticize and we're just getting better, okay? So please don't take any offense. We're just gonna be learning, okay?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I'm not convinced.
Okay.
I wouldn't sign. Somebody help her out. Go ahead, Lynn.
Okay, so you know what? I talked to Sally down the street because I saw that listing, Sally, the listing agent from down there, and wanted to know what was going on when I was doing my research for our appointment today. And that house was overpriced, just like we talked about before. The seller said that they were only selling if they could get 1.9, but the comp showed 1.5 like we talked about, and seller wasn't interested. And that's why it's so important that we start at the right price and create the frenzy and, you know, get all the buyers and the offers coming in. Otherwise, you'll end up canceled just like they did.
Okay, better. You did some research, you found out, that's good, right? Use it. I like to use analogies. Okay, couple of analogies. Greg, let's role play with you.
Right.
Greg, are you familiar with the game of football?
Yeah.
So on a football team, you might have 3 different quarterbacks, right?
Oh, yeah.
So why? So you have 3 different quarterbacks because there's different. Somebody's better than other ones, right?
Yeah. You need backups. You need, yeah.
You need backups. You need, so just like anything else on a football team, there's better players than others. I'm the Tom Brady of this job, right? Just because we have the same tools doesn't mean we use them the same. Doesn't mean all agents do the same things. Like if I was in the military and I had and somebody gave me an M16 rifle, I don't think I could hit the broadside of a barn, but if I gave it to a sniper, they would hit the bullseye. So just because you have the same tools in the same companies, we don't all do the same things. Let me show you how I can take advantage of all the tools that First Team has to offer, and then you can decide.
Sounds good? That's fair.
Right? Just because we work at First Team, not everybody starts on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Not everybody makes it to the NFL. And you know what? The best thing you ever did, Greg, is give me a call. Let me tell you. Let me show you why. And you can be so bold to say that, right? You made a really good decision when you called me. All right.
I like that.
Any questions? Does that make sense, guys? Anybody got that objection before?
You know, I have.
Yes, yes.
Bob,
We went with a standard Mark Kojak's answer. All right.
Yep. Okay.
It's like when you go to a doctor.
Okay. I've got this objection once. I was called in on a Saturday. The person had already made a commitment for another agent. So Mauricio, let's talk. Mauricio.
Yes.
Ready? Okay. Hey, I called you in because somebody told me, one of my friends told me I should interview you, but I already made a commitment to this other agent that lives in the neighborhood. They're coming by Monday to sign that paperwork. I haven't signed anything yet, but it looks like I'm going to go with them.
Oh, great. That's good. I like that you took a proactive step. I know you. This is probably your most valuable asset, and I'm sure you did your due diligence. Let me tell you one thing. If I were you, given the nature of the asset, given the importance of your decision, I would run it. I would run it through as many people as you can. So I'd love to sit down with you and explain to you why our company is the number one in representing more buyers and sellers in Orange County more than any other company. So you would do yourself a great favor if you give me a chance to sit down with you for a half an hour, and I will show you a couple of intricate parts of our marketing plan and how we operate in the market, today's market. I think you owe this to yourself. So, I promise I'll be brief and I'll be detailed, and you'll be more than satisfied at the end of our 30 minutes. Does that sound good to you, Bob?
I don't know. Why should I hire you? Tell me, I've got 15 minutes, I've got like 10 minutes, before I go. Why should I hire you, Mauricio?
Well, because we do things a little different in First Team. We have, God, there's a loaded question. How much time do you have, Bob? No, we do things a little different at First Team. Hence, that's why we occupy, according to third parties reporting to the state, the first spot in Orange County in terms of representing more buyers and more sellers than anybody else. Specifically, we received the best training in the industry. We collectively are not a franchise, so we support our offices one another. We also implement some marketing strategies that are rarely found in the industry. We expose your property more than any other broker online, and I can show you this in a few minutes, on paper, show you why the exposure matters, and why the marketing strategy matters. Specifically, when it comes to myself, I like to think that I'm here to not only to sell your home at the highest possible price, but with the least amount of effort and with the least amount of stress for you, while protecting your interest, both financially and legally, because there's a lot of ramifications. I adhere to the code of ethics set forth by our industry standards, and by doing so, I protect you along the way as well. Some agents don't do that.
Okay, you're losing.
Last, but
You're losing.
okay,
You're
okay,
losing me.
okay.
So who
Okay.
wants to help? Okay, somebody help him out. You lost me.
I'd probably just start with, may I have the opportunity to give you a second opinion? I also would, off script, I would like the opportunity to give people my testimonials. So I'm, when faced with this in the future, I want to be able to say, my track record speaks for itself. Here's my testimonials, and also here's a list of phone numbers that you're actually welcome to check as references for the experience that they had when they hired me as their agent.
Okay. Anybody else? Rob, what do you think?
Hi, Bob. Just to take it from the beginning, let's take it from the beginning.
Sure, of course.
So give me the
Rob, yeah, Rob, by the way, you're sitting at my table. We're
Okay.
talking, okay? So Rob, I called you in because I know another agent I know said that I should at least talk to you, but I have to let you know that the lady that farms this area, I've already talked to her. She's got a photographer coming in on Monday. This is Saturday morning. We're at 8 o'clock in the morning. But I thought I should at least call you, but I'm sort of committed to her. She's coming in on Monday.
Yeah, no, Bob, I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Let me ask you, and we're talking about Sylvia, the local agent.
Yes.
And how well do you know her?
I don't know her very well at all, other than she sells a lot of houses, it appears, in the neighborhood.
Okay. And let me ask you, with the decision of who's going to list and sell your house, what things are important for you?
To get the highest price.
Okay. And that's, Bob, that's most people. They want to sell their house for the highest price in the shortest amount of time with the fewest amount of problems. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And we would agree that it's an important decision of who's going to list and represent you in the sale of your house?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what I can do is, she sells homes in a very different way than I do. Can I take a few minutes? And I want to explain to you exactly how I would market your home to buyers and how I'm different than her, at least to give you a chance to make the very best choice for yourself. How does that sound?
Okay. I like it. I like that. I like that a lot. Very good, Rob. I'll tell you what I said.
Yeah, Rob.
I told the guy, and this is literally the truth. I said, listen, the fact that I was there at 8 o'clock in the morning told me that I didn't have a good chance of getting that listing. But what I said is something very similar. I said, listen, this is the best call you've ever made in real estate. Let me tell you why. And then I went and said something very similar to what Rob was saying. I mean, is it, find out who it is, what the relationship is, and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I gave an analogy. I think Leah, something she said, I said something like, yeah, this is a big investment for you. I understand that you might know this person or may not know him, but if I had cancer and I went to my doctor that I've known for 30 years told me I had cancer, I'd want a second opinion. I want to get another opinion, and getting a second opinion, Rob, is really important. And then I laid out, and let me tell you why. I said, and I laid out all the things for him, but that's an objection that you're going to get. And I've gotten that one. That's a hard one. I liked what Rob did. I like the fact that you ask questions. Just start asking questions. Is getting the highest price the most important thing for you? Is hiring the company that has the just ask those questions, Rob. I thought that was really good. Okay. Good
I
job.
also thought it was good that he got the client to say yes, yes, yes all the time. That's a perfect positive sales moving forward.
Exactly. Yeah, it's an attorney trick. Get them to say yes. So okay, Robert, you got the next one. Okay, how about this one? Have you ever sold a house in my neighborhood?
I have not sold personally in your neighborhood. Oh. This is a good one. I have not sold a house in your neighborhood, but I'm very aware of your neighborhood because it's right down the street from my home. I've, walked there. My kids have been growing up in that neighborhood. I'm very familiar with the area, and I'm also familiar with the agents that farm that area. So I would love to get an opportunity to see your home personally, where I could possibly show you ways to get a higher price for your house if you choose to list. So, I'd like to come over and see it. Does that sound like a plan?
Let's assume that you're sitting at my table.
Okay.
And you said hello, blah blah blah, and I say, okay. Before we get started, how many homes have you sold in my neighborhood, Robert?
I've actually sold no homes in your neighborhood.
Okay.
See.
Don't leave me hanging.
I have not sold any homes in your neighborhood because I'm. Yeah, someone's gonna have to help me out on that one.
But First Team brings more buyers to the area and has more qualified buyers than any other real estate company.
Good point.
How's that for help?
Okay.
I would say,
go ahead.
I would say I would actually answer that question with another question. Like when they say, have you sold any homes in my neighborhood? I would say, not here in your neighborhood, but can you please tell me why is that important to you? Or why do you think that's important that I needed to sell a home in your neighborhood? So, and let's see what they say.
Yeah, yeah. How about something like this? Robert, do you think the buyer of your house is going to come from your neighborhood? Or do you think it's going to be somebody outside your neighborhood?
I would say outside the neighborhood is very likely right now because everyone's looking for a house.
So isn't it more important whether I sold a house in your neighborhood or if I sold houses all around your neighborhood and I bring buyers to your house? Isn't that more important rather than selling a house in your neighborhood?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So isn't it
bring me buyers? Yeah.
So isn't it important for me to look outside of your neighborhood? It's like you think the Irvine company, markets to the people who have already bought a house in their brand new neighborhood, or do they market outside that neighborhood? They market outside. That's what I do. I market outside your neighborhood to all of Orange County for buyers to live in your neighborhood. The buyer 99% isn't going to come from your neighborhood. They're going to come from outside that want to move into. That's why we market to all of Orange County. I'm not marketing to your neighborhood. I'm marketing to everybody. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Hey, Bob.
Yes.
That's the best answer. But just as an observation of the truth, agents that sell locally in a neighborhood that's not necessarily a home court advantage. That can easily be a home court disadvantage. They're focused on the micro. They don't see the bigger market, and markets around them have gone up 15%, and they're only slowly raising the prices by 5% because they can't believe how much these are going for. So it's not really always an advantage. It can easily be a disadvantage.
100%.
I have a question, Bob. When, in your experience, when homeowners ask that question, are they concerned about the marketing aspect and bringing in buyers? Or I've always thought that the concern was more, are you familiar with these homes as far as the floor plans, the neighborhood itself, some of the nuances that these homes have or that people are familiar with throughout the years? That's what I've always assumed their concern was, but I guess I'm wrong.
They're concerned that that question is basically because they think there's a local farmer that sells a lot of houses.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it's also, it comes
So
down
with
to net.
selling a lot of houses, they become familiar with the houses themselves
Yeah.
in the neighborhood. I mean,
But when you uncover the truth, the truth is that there is no, in my farm, there's been 19 sales. I've sold 8 of those, right? But the other 9 or so, 10 houses have been by one individual.
mhm.
So, but if you look at outside of my farm, there is no one individual that dominates a farm. And the other thing, if they bring up a dominant farm or a couple of dominant farmers, the Mark Kojak answer is this. Something like, when you have somebody that sells a lot of houses, or you have a couple of agents sell a lot of houses, they don't want to show each other's house.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good one.
They don't
Sorry.
want to, they don't want to show that, because then that person gets credit. So what I'm going to get to everybody to come and compete for your house. Because that's the truth. The truth is that when you have 2 dominant people, a Tim Smith and a Sean Stansfield, they don't like to show each other's houses. But I'm going to market to everybody and get everybody to come look at your house.
No, I agree with all that. I'm just curious as to really understanding what their motivation is behind asking the question.
They want to make sure you know the neighborhood, the amenities of the tract, all that kind of stuff. They want to, how do you sell? Like the houses that I sell, these are the crappiest single-story houses on the planet, but they have the best views in Orange County. Some agents don't even, these are single-family attached homes. And what I point out in my listing presentation, look at this. Some agents say that these are condos. They're not condos. These agents don't know the tract, right? So, but they're just kind of, that's a fair question. Do you know my neighborhood? Right? Kim, are you awake? All right, you get the next one. Aren't you lucky? You ready?
Sure.
I like what you're saying, Kim, but I don't want to list my house until I find another one. And I'm not sure if I can even find another house in this market.
I'm so glad you brought that up. First Team has an incredible new program called First Team Forward, where you can actually buy your new home before you sell. Are you interested in hearing more about that?
Wait a minute. I don't have a problem selling it, but I don't want to sell and be homeless.
You won't.
How's
With
that
this,
help me?
couple things. We could, if you do decide to use the First Team Forward program, you won't be homeless because you would actually purchase and move into your new home first. And then we can either renovate your current home to bring it up to, high standards, or we can sell it as is after you've already moved into your new home. So you won't be homeless, Bob.
Yeah, but I can't even find a house.
That's my job.
I don't want to list my house today when I don't have a place to go, because I know it's going to sell. You've convinced me, but I don't want to go. I don't want to list my house, get my kids out of school and whatever, and have to move.
Well, I don't think you're, let me re-explain. I think we're at cross purposes here. With First Team Forward, you find your new home first. Then you purchase it and then you move in, so you're not homeless. Then we worry about selling your existing home afterward. And we know it's going to sell. So the challenge is take all the time you need, stay in your current home until we find you that home you want and we get your offer accepted. Then you can move into that. And then we sell your existing home. Make sense?
So why do I need that program when I can just wait to find my own house? And I don't want to list right now until I find, I don't want to listen until you find me a house.
Exactly. You can do it either way. It depends on your timing and when you need to be excuse me, into your new home. So if you want to do it the traditional way, I have incredible relationships with agents in the area that you're looking, and I have a tremendous track record of getting offers accepted. So we can find you something, and then we'll sell your current home, and we'll get a rent back for you where we work it out with the new buyer that you can stay in your home for as long as you need.
Okay. So Kim, do I have to sell my house to buy another one? You don't know.
I don't think that you do. Are you willing to?
Oh, no, you don't know.
It's up to you.
No, no, you didn't ask me that question. You don't know if I have to sell to buy.
Bob,
Well,
do you want to sell?
you don't know if I own my house outright or I have $10 million in the bank.
Right.
So, Kim, do you have to sell your house to buy another one?
You don't have to. It depends on your situation.
We're role playing. You're the client.
Oh, I'm the client.
Kim,
no, Bob, I don't have to because I have, some money in the bank. And
all right, that's perfect. A lot of our clients have to sell their house to buy another one. And in this market, I have to get you in position to buy the next one. I have to get you in the top position to buy one. So you're lucky. So let me ask you a question. If I find you the perfect house, would you be able to move forward quickly?
Yeah, if you found me the right house, I could be motivated.
Do you see anything wrong with me listing your house? You're not going to ever be homeless. We'll go out and find you a house. We'll make an offer, but we'll never leave you homeless. And when we get offers on your house, we'll make them contingent on us finding another house. But at least all the paperwork is done. It's like kind of like when they do commercials for the Super Bowl, they do it months and months in advance. They get everything prepared and then they launch it on the Super Bowl. Same thing. I'm just asking you to let's take that decision off the table.
I like that.
Is that fair?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Does that make sense, guys? Don't leave the house without getting it signed. Because when you do, you're not going to get the listing. I'm telling you. I've never got it. Okay, who's next? Oh, come on. Carla, come on. You're bubbly and you know.
Oh my gosh, I knew it. Okay, yeah. Bring it.
Carla, you know, I got a two-part question, Carla. I only want to give you a 30-day listing, and I want to make some exemptions for my neighbor and a family friend. Is that okay?
You want a 30-day listing? That's perfectly fine. We should be able to sell your home in that amount of time. In this market, I don't see a problem there.
Okay. And what if my neighbor wants to buy it? I want to exempt them from the listing contract.
Your neighbor wants to buy the home?
I don't know. They've always said that they would love to move in my house.
Okay, great. Let's get it on the market and we'll get multiple offers and
Wait a minute. If my neighbor buys it, I don't want to pay you.
Well, sure, that's fine. If your neighbor buys it, that's fair. But I think we're going to have so many buyers in here that the odds of that occurring, my thoughts inside my head are the odds of that occurring are low. And I'm willing to invest in the listing and your home, and I can always get an extension. So I'm willing to take a listing in this market. I'm willing to take your listing at 30 days. Yeah, because I can bet on myself. What is your answer to that, Bob? What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced what you just said.
Okay.
Lawrence, help me out.
Is that because you're concerned you won't get the highest price from your neighbor?
I don't understand your question, Lawrence.
If you're saying that you don't want your neighbor to buy the house.
No, I'm saying my neighbor has expressed interest in buying my house.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I have a better view. I have a better view. And they've always wanted to buy my house.
Understood. It is a beautiful house, naturally.
Thank you.
I just want to understand, you don't want him to buy the house because you don't want him to buy the house.
I want to put an exemption in the contract. If he buys it, I don't want to pay you.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
If he buys it, I've already brought, we'll just have
that's actually fair. Now, and we can do that. That's referred to as procuring cause. If that's really what happens and they buy and I didn't introduce you to them, you're legally entitled to do that. Now, when we put it on the market, however, we're going to be able to get the largest pool of buyers, and there may be a buyer that comes in at a better price, better terms, and you might find that more attractive. Does that sound good?
I like that. Yes. That was good.
Fine here, Bob.
So,
which is kind of what I said.
No, that's not what you said. The answer is always yes. And
I said yes.
Well, you sort of said yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I participated.
No, you did good. I mean, there's no. This is a safe zone. We're learning.
Yeah.
You're going to get these objections, and it's you have to be able to answer. Like, I have three children, Nicole, Kyle, and Allie. You have to be able to know that that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Right. And David, that's exactly where I would go with that. Listen, yeah, of course, if your neighbor wants to buy it, let him get into the mix and compete with everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let him, if he's got the best offer, great. And I can help you facilitate that if you want. But if you want him to buy it and he's willing to pay more than anybody else, you should sell it to him.
Yeah.
Right? Because the neighbor always thinks they're going to get a deal. right? That never happens. That was good. That was very good, Lawrence. Okay.
Yeah, and then Bob, Nushin has a question. Nushin.
Okay.
Hi, I have a quick question about the procuring cost. Doesn't that only apply to another agent? I don't think there's a rule for a person who's not a real estate agent that they're procuring costs. So that I don't think it's legally it's going to work.
I think Lawrence was. I think that's semantics. I think he was saying that if you're bringing the buyer, you will do that. I think that's what you were saying. He was explaining it in a real estate term of procuring costs.
Yeah, I was just showing like, yeah, of course, that's perfectly normal. Of course, we can do that for you.
Yeah.
Not really normal. It might be fair in your mind, but it's not.
Fair enough.
Nushin, you're right. When you take the listing, they're going to pay you a commission unless there's an exclusion. If there is a neighbor or somebody, put them in the contract and give them like 10 days to make the decision, because these guys will delay, or snatch it away from you at the end, later. So
Good idea.
Words of wisdom.
100%. Okay. Who from Mark Kojak's office wants to get the next one? Oh, come on. I see two people from Mark's office. Jeez.
I'll do it again if no
Okay.
one else.
Wow. Step
I'll
up,
need to
guys.
practice.
What a bunch of weenies. Come on.
Let's do it.
All right, Robert. Hey, listen, I like you. You did a really good job in the presentation, but you're the first person I've met. You're the first agent we've seen. We have a couple other people that we wanted to talk to. You can see how it's important for me to get a second opinion, right? So I'm not ready to sign right now. I want to talk to these other two agents.
Well, why do you want to talk to these other agents?
Don't you think it's important for me to get, since this is an important decision, to get multiple opinions?
Sometimes getting multiple opinions can cause more slowdown of the sale because you're going to get overwhelmed with analysis. I think in our first team, we have a lot of resources where we can show you the pricing, the trends. We can also show you that we actually invest more money into our listings than any other company based on all the different connected websites that we have that we promote, not just to locally, but to the county, but everywhere in the internet, more than any other company. So I think you're in a great position here where we can market it better than any other company and get the sale closed much faster because of all our extensive resources.
Okay, not sold.
Okay.
Who wants to help him out? Ingrid, are you awake? From Mark Kojak's office?
I'm awake.
Okay, help him out.
I have no idea what to say.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. No. And guys, it's okay to say that. We're here to learn. And I'm picking up stuff. I'm making notes here. Jeremiah, help him out. Come on.
Unmuting. Sorry, I'm unmuting. State the question again. We're role playing. State the question again.
Basically, how many people have heard this? You're the first person I talked to. I really want to get another opinion. Don't you think it's fair for me to get a couple more opinions before I list?
Bob, it's always a great idea to get another opinion.
Okay, so I'll see. I'll call you.
But getting another opinion, Bob. Sorry, it put me on the spot. I was.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry.
Can I try one, Bob?
But no, yeah, getting another opinion is not actually a bad idea. But did you hear what you liked? What we discussed today, this is assuming at the end of the listing presentation, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. So we've gone over everything today. You've seen the numbers. We've talked about pricing strategy. We've talked about this market. Are there any questions that you may have that are keeping you from moving forward today that is making you get another opinion or making you want to seek another opinion? Have you heard Is there anything I haven't covered today that would keep you from moving forward with me?
No, other than I just don't know what somebody else has to offer, but no.
Okay, so we're able to offer all the tools. We're the #1 independent brokerage in Southern California, as we've covered earlier today. As you saw earlier in the slide presentation, First Team Real Estate brought over 10,000 buyers to Southern California, or closed over 10,000 transactions in Southern California. We bring more buyers than any other company. So truly, we give you the best opportunity to sell your house for the highest price with the best terms, because we bring more buyers than anybody else. So why go search for something else when you have all the answers you need today?
Yeah, that's the right path to go down. You know, do some, I forgot the word, but is there something that I did in the presentation that you don't understand? Jeremiah, I think that was the right path. And I always like, is there something that you didn't understand? Is there something that I need to clarify before you make it? Is there something else that you need to hear? You've already said, that we have the #1 company. You've already said that you agreed that that's important. You've already said that we market and advertise better than everybody else. So what what makes you want to wait, other than seeking another opinion? And you know what? Here's what I'm willing to do. Really, why don't you sign my agreement right now? Go out and get a second opinion. If you think they're better, then go hire them. And they're never going to do that, right? And lastly, listen, I think part of the reason why you want to go talk to somebody else and you haven't signed right now is because you don't want to make the call to those people and tell them not to come. A lot of people get a little embarrassed about having to call somebody up, right? So give me their names and numbers. I'll call them up and tell them that you've already signed with me.
Mhm.
And I'll let them bring the buyers if they have a buyer. And that's really the reason.
That's
Because
so true.
They're embarrassed to call. So do it for them. I've done that many times, right? Does that make sense?
I've done that and it works. And I've even offered the other agents to come in first. They can bring their clients in first before. They never brought a client.
Yep. No, of course not. But I've done that, Ingrid, I've done that many times and it works because they're just embarrassed. They feel they obligated to they have to go see those people when they really liked everything you said. So try that one on it. It does work.
Bob, can I add one?
Yeah, please.
Something I used to do just to entertain myself in that question is I would ask them, Bob, are you married?
Yes.
Well, when you met your wife and fell in love, did you say, I love you, but I'm going to shop around a little bit first?
No, I asked her.
So that usually, if we can make a love connection, Bob, would you be willing to move forward today?
Yeah, I like that a lot. As a matter of fact, I asked my wife to marry.
Steve is good. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. I always had fun with that one. You get a laugh and it transitions you into the next point.
No, I like that a lot. I asked my wife to marry me on our first date, so I understand that.
That's great.
And you'll probably hear that a lot. That was very good. Y'all should have written that one down. I like that a lot. Okay, this is good stuff. I'm taking notes here, guys. Okay, who wants to handle one that's kind of hard? Don't all jump at once.
Mhm.
Come on, who wants a hard one? Oh, come on. Okay, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to give you the objection. You guys tell me what you think, and somebody just jump in, okay? Fair enough?
I can go for.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the objection. This happened to me. I'm going to hear what you guys think. You ready? Bob, I really liked what you did. I like your marketing and advertising. I like everything about what you've done. I know that you sold the house down the street, and I know that was roughly about $1 million. I'm on this side of the street. I have a way better view, and we've agreed to that my house is probably going to sell at $3 million. I'm assuming that you got 3% with that guy down the street, so that they paid you $30,000. I'm going to pay you $90,000. What am I getting for $60,000 that you didn't give to that guy?
My experience, the level of liability I have to take on for that is a completely different buyer at a $3 million price point. Sir, respectfully.
Okay.
Did you teach me well or what?
That was good so far.
So far. Anybody else?
ultimately, it's not you paying my commission, it's the buyer paying my commission. So I'm trying to pay for myself by getting the highest price I possibly can for you to cover those costs. So it's really not coming out of your pocket, Bob, it's coming out of the buyer's pocket.
Yeah, I know, but $60,000. I mean, my goodness, I mean, you're gonna advertise me in Christie's luxury portfolio. You're going to put me on your website. Can't you do that for 40,000?
No, unfortunately, we can't.
But you see the issue there?
But see, the commission's not about, it's not about me making money, Bob. It's about selling your house for the highest price and the best terms possible. So really, commission is a strategy to get your house sold. So when we're offering commission, it's not just my commission that's you're paying, it's also buyer's agent commission. And we have to attract buyers from other areas, right? And commission is under compression right now. There's probably 1,000 agents that you can hire right now, Bob, that'll do this for you for 2%. There's no question about it. But they don't think the way that I think. They don't market the home that way we market your home, and they don't have the access that we have to the luxury market with our 3 luxury affiliations that we covered earlier. So this is about a strategy to get your house sold for the highest price. So we're going to offer a 3% commission to buyer's agents. I know your eyes are bopping out of your head right now. And why would we do that in this market? Well, we want to employ buyer's agents to work for you, Bob. So we're trying to get that highest price. The other thing that we're trying to do is to negotiate for you. We're trying to keep that escrow in escrow and close escrow, not cancel. So if we pay a 3% commission to a buyer's agent, I can tell you right now, they're going to trip over themselves and do everything they can to get this property sold. This will be the smoothest escrow we ever have by employing the buyer's agent to work for you. So it's not just about paying my commission, it's about paying for the strategy, negotiation, and how we get your house sold.
Okay. I'm okay with paying them. I don't know why I have to pay you more.
Because I'm protecting you and I'm ensuring that when you close escrow, you have a fully defensible legal file at the end of this, Bob.
Okay. Jeremiah, great job. Carla, good job. You need to see the truth, right? You need to have them see the truth. Let me ask you a couple questions, Carla, since we're role playing.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's more buyers for $1 million house than there's for a $3 million house?
I do. That is
as a matter of fact, there's for right now, there's 300, there's actually, I have wrote it down because I had this question. There are 943 homes that are $1 million in Orange County. There's only 200 that are $3 million. So there's obviously, more people, but you know what? You're not paying me to do the mechanics of listing your house. You're paying me to do 2 things: to protect you and to negotiate for you. Let me tell you a little story. We just sold a house in Laguna Niguel, but we listed it at $1 million. It sold at $1.05 million, right? I listed a house in Hidden Hills in Calabasas. We listed it at 4.6 million. I got them 5 million. You're there to, I made that seller $400,000. He was happy to pay me 3.5% because I made him $400,000 more. You're paying me, so I have a much bigger range at a higher end. You're paying me to negotiate. There's a difference between a heart surgeon and a guy that does a colonoscopy.
Yes.
That was for Steve. So give them.
Yeah, and I agree with you that there's a different level of sophistication with the $3 million buyer and liability, and we're protecting you and ensuring,
You're not paying me to list your house and taking pictures and put it on the MLS. You're paying me to negotiate for you. And and this is what I do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So people are going to think that. They're not going to ask that, but they're going to think that question. Right?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, good job, both of you guys. Good job, Jeremiah. Hey, listen, who wants to take the next one? Well, we have plenty of time. I got a lot more. Really?
I don't mind learning the hard way. Go ahead.
Who said that?
Leah.
All right, ready? I had Compass in here just yesterday, and I looked at, and thank you for presenting, but you guys look like you do exactly the same. They told me that their syndication was all over the world. They told me that they're better than you guys. Why should I hire you? I mean, your guys' stuff looks exactly the same.
Bob, that's a great question. And I do agree that several of the top real estate brokerages in the area and in the nation do put into practice a lot of similar tools and strategies. Obviously we do it to stay competitive in this market. The best companies out there are going to always seek the best tools and strategies possible, especially when it comes to meeting the needs of both, the agents that work for them and the clients that those agents are assisting and serving. And, I can't speak for Compass because I haven't worked there and I don't work there. I can speak for myself and the quality of service that I provide my clients and how I use those tools wisely and to the best, to benefit you in the best way possible. Again, I can't speak for Compass or any other company because I don't work there. I have respect for a lot of agents that work, top agents that work for a lot of companies. But my goal is to use my skills and abilities from communication, negotiation, and really understanding your needs and wants and desires and meeting those to the best of my ability. That's my promise to you.
Okay. Who wants to help her out with some other stuff?
And we're affiliated with Christie's. No one else is affiliated with Christie's in Orange County.
Let's see your face, Laura. Come on.
I'm in a situation where
I'm in a
situation best for everyone.
Okay. Go ahead, say that again, please.
Well, we're the only real estate firm that is affiliated with Christie's. Christie's has handpicked First Team to represent their brand in Orange County. Are you familiar with Christie's, Mr. Gottuso?
I know who they are. I've heard of them. I don't shop with them, but yes.
Well, they sell, $1 million paintings. They, they're the brand of luxury, and they've handpicked First Team to represent them on the real estate spectrum in the luxury real estate market.
Okay, so we're sitting at the table, and that's the objection that comes through. So you've already done your presentation. They just didn't understand what we did, right? So go back and get some confirmation of what we did. I do self-deprecating humor. It's like, I didn't do a good job of explaining it. Let's go back. Let's look at the trend graphics numbers. This is the real numbers. This is not Bob. This is the real numbers. Do you see the numbers here? And do you agree that we sell more homes than anybody else? Yes, they're going to say yes, right? So go back and review what you've done and get the commitment from them, right? Let's look at this. Let's look at the syndication. Let's look at this. We don't do the same things. We're not the same thing. They're a franchise. We're not. And go back over the benefits. We're not the same. And then get a commitment. One of y'all did that. It was Lawrence or somebody that said every get them to say yes every step of the way. All right. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know what they do and I don't care what they do. Here are the facts. This is what we do. And we do it better because this is it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the world's largest network of real estate brokers. We do. They don't sell more homes in Orange County than we do. We do. They don't have the largest relocation department. We do. Those are the things that should be important to you. Are they important to you? My office sells 1,000 homes a year. We sell a house every 12 hours. Is that important to you? Blah, 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 blah.
It's 12 minutes, Bob, every 12 minutes.
Well, that's the company, not my office. Okay. I'm looking for, I'm gonna go to the next screen because you guys are awful quiet on the next screen. Christine, I see that you're awake. Okay, here's an objection. If I list my house with you and I buy the next house with you, will you cut your commission on the listing?
See here.
Anybody ever got that objection?
Cut the house. Well,
so
I get that a lot because it seems like everyone offers that around here, and I would probably reaffirm that in order to get the right kind of people coming to your home? Actually, could you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I missed part of that.
Of course, no, of course. There's no judgment here. Don't worry about
I've
it.
been mostly buyer side, so I'm trying to convert more to the listing side. So I am a little rusty, but I'm
No,
improving.
Trust me, it's okay, guys. It's like, okay, so listen, Christine, I liked what your presentation was. I want to go with you, but if I list my house with you and I buy another house from you, will you cut your commission on the listing side?
Well, it's a professional service fee, and all of this information that I talked about, I would say that me individually, I can bring the highest price for you on this. And in buying you another house, I'm actually very good at that as well. And I think that overall strategy wouldn't be to attack the commission and amounts paid on the professional service side, but rather really emphasize that I will deliver the highest level of service for both ends of your transaction. And most importantly, is ensuring that it is a smooth process. So while I understand you want to save a little on that piece of the transaction, I feel like the bigger picture is really more important and sets the tone for both sides of the transaction. So,
I love that, Christine. Don't attack the, what did you say? Don't attack the commission?
Yeah, I call them professional service fees instead of a commission, because I feel like that is what, if I'm speaking with a surgeon, I don't ask them to reduce their pricing on my surgery. So I really, when I speak to people professionally, that's really the approach. And I'm fortunate to work with people that I kind of know. It's very much referral based. So we already have that rapport. And
that was excellent. I wrote that down.
Oh, good.
So my comeback to that would be, if I was on the other side, if I was the seller, and then remind me to say the Mark Kojak answer. If I was the seller, I said, Christine, I don't want you to hit a home run off of me. How about just a double? Meaning that, you don't have to hit a home run. I'm paying you on two sides here.
Yeah.
It's like, cut me a break here. I mean, you don't have to hit a home run on every seller that you have.
Well,
a double for me.
No, I understand, Bob. Bob, let me understand your concerns about reducing your price. Is there like a net number that you are looking to achieve on your purchases or the sale?
That's the right path. That's the right path. Treat it like a FSBO. So commissions, getting the highest price and commissions are important to you, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And saying, then I would almost say, when you're asking me to reduce commission, what are you asking for? Yeah. You're asking for a 1/10%, 1/4%, 0.5%. Mm-hmm. How about like just 0.5%? Well, Bob, on a $1 million house, that's like $2,500. If I can't negotiate $2,500 on the sale of your house, you shouldn't hire me.
Right.
I guarantee commission will never be an issue when I sell your house. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So find out why they're asking. It's okay for them to ask. And a lot of times I'll just say no. For instance, one of my friends, we just sold her house in Laguna Niguel in my farm. She said, we were going to list her house. She said, well, can you, we're friends. Can you cut your commission? I said, no. I said, absolutely not. And I told her why. You're paying me not to list your house. You're paying me. I sold her house for a record price. They paid me 3.5%. And we got them, they wanted 1.3. I got them 1.375. And sold it without, I sold it without not even being on the market. You're paying me for my expertise and for my negotiation skills. You're paying me so that we don't talk about your house a year from now. We're protecting you. That's what you're paying me for. Just like, I liked your idea. When I go to my doctor, I don't ask him for a discount. When I went to my dad's heart surgery, I didn't ask the guy for a discount. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's okay for them to ask, but give them a reason or tell them why. I liked what you said too, by the way. I'm not criticizing. I thought it was good.
Thanks.
Hey, Bob, just a question for you, or your feedback on what do you think about, if somebody's asking you to reduce the commission, say, well, are you also asking me to reduce my level of service?
Sure. I like it.
Just a thought.
No, that's good, Jeremiah. I like that.
Hey, Bob, question. How does that conversation go, let's say they're reading the listing agreement and it says that commissions are negotiable in the
Sure.
state of California between, you know, the brokerage and the seller, the client, how does that conversation go?
Yeah, I mean, nobody ever reads that, but it's something they might. But you know, it's always, you know, they're always wanting to pay the buyer's agent more money than us, listing agents. That's my experience. They always seem to want to say, "Oh, I'm okay with paying the buyer's agent 3%, but I don't want you to get that much." And my conversation goes like this: commissions are negotiable. So let me ask you a question. Would you agree that it's going to be through my marketing and advertising and contacts that bring the buyers to your house, not the buyer's agent? Most of the time, what I do is it's going to attract buyers who are going to call agents. So do you think it's fair for me to earn less money when I have all the risk and all the liability than the buyer's agent? Do you think I should make less than them? I have the marketing, I have the advertising, I have the photos, I have the staging, I have all of that. They from all of my work, they're just going to get a call from a buyer and bring them in. So do you think it's fair for that person to make more money than me? And how could anybody answer yes? So if nothing else, you're going to be on equal terms with that person, right? And it is negotiable. And I recommend that you pay me, you know, we like to charge 6%. I like to take 3.5%, and I recommend you give 2.5% to the buyer's agent. You know, that's what I recommend. All right. It is negotiable. And of course, when you're in the moment, take whatever you can get and get the contract signed. I know managers don't want to hear that, but whatever it is, if you can get it signed and walk out the door. If it's 5%, whatever.
Hey, the other thing on that is sometimes they wind up getting away on the buy side. So if you have to do it, offer them the discount on the buy side, not on the listing side.
Yes. Yeah, never take the money off of your listing side because and that's a good point, Dave. The other thing I point out is that I don't even like to do it on the buy side because sometimes the buyer's agents are they only offer 2%. So just, you know, I never negotiate because I have to do all this, but so, you know, you may even say, yeah, you know, I'm willing to consider it. I don't get paid unless we do a deal. So whatever it takes to get that deal done, I will do. You know, ultimately you are the decider of whether I get paid or not, whether your house gets sold or whether you buy something at the terms and prices that you want. So nothing happens unless you say so. So you control everything. And then they forget about this conversation. They just don't remember it after that. They just want to ask it there. Then they get so caught up in buying a house and selling a house. They never ask, my experience, nobody's ever asked me for after we've done the deal. Okay, I've got a couple more. These are important. What would you say? What would you say to this? I'm going to throw it out there. You guys respond. You guys, have you ever sold a house at $2 million? Your response is? Have you sold a house? Go ahead.
Yes.
Who's answering?
Yes, and the company is sold more than any other company at that level.
Okay. I believe that the company has. You haven't really talked about the houses you've sold at that price.
Yes.
Yeah, I've
Can
sold.
I answer this one?
Yeah, go, please, somebody jump on.
Okay, I wanted to say, first of all, it happens even though I've only sold a few houses, but one of them was 2 million. But even if it wasn't, I would say, you know, interestingly, I have not. And for that reason, I'm willing to give 200% because I want you to be the first $2 million house I sell. And I want this to be the beginning of me selling multi-million-dollar homes.
Okay. It's okay to tell the truth. It's okay to tell the truth. It really is. It's like, somebody in our office once used an example of a doctor in a waiting room. He said, have you ever been in a doctor's waiting room when there's 20 people there and you're just one of 20 people and that how much, what kind of service are you going to get? Well, if you list with me, you're one of one. I'm going to give you my undivided attention. Right? Is that the truth? Of course it is. And I like honesty. I think that always goes a long way. No, I haven't sold. You'd be my first, but you know what? first, it isn't a question of whether I have it. Our company is the #1 luxury broker in Orange County. Blah, blah, blah. It's okay because it's just the truth. Okay, here's a question I got. I'd love to hear how you guys answer this. Okay, you ready? Jeremiah, you've never heard this one before, I'm guaranteed, because I never heard it until the other day. Bob, you're really asking me questions I don't really feel comfortable answering. I was like,
that is a new one.
I said, okay. How would you guys answer that one? I've never had that one before. We were talking about money and stuff, and they basically were talking about getting into the next level. And
I just go into the surgeon thing, and your doctor's going to ask all kinds of questions you're not comfortable with, but the information is critical to make the best decision for you. So I apologize. I don't mean to put you off in any way, but I feel like really to, answer your questions and find the best solution, we got to talk about this stuff.
I like that. I like that, Dave. Lawrence or Paul?
Hey, Bob. I completely understand that. And that's why I'll sign agency with you right now, because obviously our conversation is getting beyond a casual talk about real estate. This creates a fiduciary bond between you and I can never discuss outside of this name on the form any of your personal transactions, just like you would with a lawyer or doctor.
And that's basically how I went. I said, look, I basically had never heard that question. I took back and I said, listen, just like your attorney, it's really important for me to understand where you are in this process and where, you're financially where you are and what we have to do to get you to the next level. I'm not asking these questions because I'm being nosy. I'm asking these questions because it's important for me to know the answers to these so that I can get you in the best position to get to your next house. But I was thrown back with that. It's like, whoa, what I thought was just a fair, legitimate question. They were like, I don't necessarily want to tell you that. Well, how can I help you if we're not honest with each other? And Paul, you're right. Listen, everything, just like your attorney, everything you tell me is held confidentially. I'm doing this not because I'm nosy, I'm going to tell your friends. I'm doing this because I need to get you in a position to get your next house. And I can't do that unless I know where we stand and what we're doing. Okay. I have 3 pages of objections. Are you guys interested in getting that?
Yes, please.
Okay, I will send these to whoever, Greg or whoever, and
yes,
and then he can disseminate however they want to. But they're just interesting questions. So
that was great.
There's more, but okay. So did you all get anything out of this? Was this a waste of your time, or did we learn something? I wrote some notes. I thought it was. I'm going to use Steve's, my wife thing. I think that was really good. Lawrence, okay.
I have pages and pages of notes.
So yeah, I mean, it's best to, there is no, other than the last one, there is no objection that you haven't heard before. They're not creating any new objections. Can you lower your price? I'm not ready to sign. Will you do it for lower commission? Whatever. These are the same objections you hear over and over again. And it's best just to, so let me give you one last thing. This is a Cam Mirage thing. Okay. When I first started training with Cam years and years ago, he said this and I thought it was brilliant. Okay. Whenever somebody gave me an objection that was really, kind of confrontational, I said, okay, let's talk about it. If it makes sense, we'll do it. Let's talk about it. If it makes sense, we'll do it. So you talk about it and you get them to see it doesn't make sense to do it, but you don't just say no. So I use that one a lot. Does that make sense to y'all? So if it makes sense to you guys, we'll talk about it.
I like that.
It's a very non-confrontational way to listen to their objection and then talk about it. And I think Jeremiah or somebody said, it's like, okay, what part of my services don't you want? Well, I want them all. Well, if you want them all, I would agree. That would put your house in alignment. So to get that, we need to do this. Would you agree? Kind of thing. And Christine, I wasn't picking on you. I thought your answer was really good. Does anybody have any questions? does anybody have an objection that we haven't covered that's really cool? We can talk about it. Okay.
Oh, I've heard of one that everything's selling so fast. What, that one, but
So you're sitting at a table and they're saying everything's selling so fast. Why do I need to pay you? What's the
yeah,
objection?
you don't have to do that much marketing anymore. I mean, there hardly is a sign that goes up. And so I got that one recently. Bob knows all the objections I get.
And how did you answer that?
I said that it's more about the escrow and handling the negotiating and offers coming in. And actually, it's even more work now because there's so many offers and I have to vet all of them and determine. So I handled it that way, but they think, I'm just sharing that, they think it's easy. They think it's easier right now to sell because that there's so many offers, but actually it's a lot of work for the agent to protect you and check the other agent out and vet the buyer and then go through escrow, etc. But
okay, my Padawan is here. His name is Jason. He's sitting in the audience. He just listed like 3 or 4 houses in his farm. Jason, did you get, what was your commission on the houses you listed in your farm recently?
Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
In my farm, I'm usually pretty good at getting 3 on the listing side and then 2.5 to the buyer. But if someone were to call me, say, hey, I saw your sign go up, saw you sold that house so quickly, and they didn't want to pay a full commission or something, I would say, yeah, it did sell quickly. Did 2 8-hour open houses, did all the pre-marketing. We got 4 offers. We were listed at $950, had 55 groups come to the open house, and we opened escrow at $1,075,000. So got my client an extra $125K, 12-day contingency, no appraisal, buyer paying their own home warranty. Is that something you would want me to negotiate for you if you decide to sell? And everyone would say yes to that.
Right.
That's really good.
That's excellent.
Yeah, Jason is farming in San Clemente, and I don't think you've taken a listing in your farm under 3% for you, right?
No.
And it's because of your listing presentation is good, and he handles objections.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I try to stress to you guys. Just if you do your listing presentation correctly, that was last week, these objections sort of go away.
Mm-hmm.
Because every section of my listing presentation, I'll ask them, is this something that you want me to do for you? Is this something that gives me an advantage over somebody else? And when they say yes every time, how can they say I'm not going to list with you and I'm not going to do what you charge? So your listing presentation needs to be to the point of every section has to be like an attorney asking a question to somebody up there on the stand. Is this important to you? You want me to do this for you? Do you see that this is an advantage of first team over everybody else? If they say no, then you didn't explain it well. And then these objections go away. I rarely get objections anymore because after 2.5 hours, they just want to sign. They're just tired. They just want to get out of the place, right? So just a couple of pointers. Never present unless everybody that can sign is there, because you're wasting your time. And never leave until you get the listing signed. Even if you have to sign it, get it signed and say, I'll sign it. I'll give you 24 hours to think about it. I've had people say, I want to pray about it. I've grabbed their hands and I said, let's pray right now. And I said, and I swear to God, it's bad. I slammed the table and I said, I just got something from God that said, you should list with me. The other thing they say, we need to think about it. I said, okay, I'll go wait out in the car. I'll give you guys time to think about it. Right? So whatever. Of all this, Steve had the best answer. I'm going to steal his. I like that a lot. So Steve, thank you for that. I'm going to use that a lot.
Thank you, Bob. I am flattered.
That was really good. So, okay, I have nothing else for you guys. It's 10:30.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah, it's
Bob.
definitely 10:30. That was outstanding, Bob. We really do appreciate you and so forth. Just a reminder, everyone, next week, Wednesday, for the Wednesday trainings, we have Cloud CMA coming on. We're going to teach you how to import the listings and pick the right reports, how to do a CMA, etc. That's for next week to continue on this listing trend too as well. You can also do buyer reports, by the way, for that. you know, so for showing reports, etc. too as well. It's also branded to First Team Real Estate. But for this, Bob, you rock. Thank you so much for doing what we do. We look forward to those questions. We're going to post this, or the answers in the objection handling and in scripts dialogue. We'll post this later today on First Place under Together We Are First Team Real Estate. Everyone, we appreciate you being part of the team, and we thank you for being part of today. Bob, thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Fantastic.
Good luck, everybody.
Appreciate
Bye.
it. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.